Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you this awesome Monday? It's Monday already, right? This is Jay Parks, Jay Parks consultant, executive coach, empowerment speaker. And I wanted to pop out today and just do a brief live out of my business page. Hope you had an awesome weekend. I'm broadcasting out of my home office. And I wanted to do a little bit of a live video about be mindful of relationships that are not for you. And when I do get the opportunity to go in and speak to young women from the ages of 12, 13 on up, especially 13 through, I'm going to say, maybe even 45. Because even at the age of 45, there may be some things that you didn't quite cover in those younger years about how to not align yourself with relationships that are not for you. So, sorry about that little movement there with the camera. But I wanted to just pop out today because I find that it's very important as young women, young girls, young millennial women, and even those of us who are over the age of 35, maybe still single, maybe have been married and divorced, whatever the case may be, that you really have to be mindful of relationships, especially those relationships that are not in the alignment for your present or your future. So I kind of wanted to go over some things about how to go about recognizing people, because you have different categories of people. You have people that come into your life that may be for a purpose outside of a close relationship. There's somebody that you need to align with to maybe get a job or get into a business situation that would be beneficial for you, and that's it. You don't have a relationship on a more personal level. It's one that is more of a business type relationship, personal with that person, or with those persons, maybe a group. And you want to be careful because the motive, number one, motive, M-O-T-I-V-E, a motive. Let's go to Webster's and get an idea of what motive is. Motive is an intent, right? What is the intentional mindset of that individual or those individuals, right? Because when you can recognize the motive of an individual or individuals, that's a really good indicator of why they're wanting to be around you, why they want to partner with you. So motive is very, very, very important, especially when you're talking about being mindful of relationships that are not for you. And that's what I'm talking about today. So, number one, motive. What is their intent? Number two, after you find out really what the motive is that they're wanting to align with you, find out. So, okay, if the motive is to have some type of business relationship or some type of personal relationship, what are they expecting back from you, right? What is it that they want from you in return? Because it's always a two-way street when you're forming alliances. So purpose, right? Motive, number one. Number two, you want to recognize purpose. Number three, then after you've recognized the motive of an individual or those individuals, then you want to find out the purpose of it. And number three, how can that be facilitated on what level? Okay, so I find that as young women, especially grade school, you know, you're in grade school, let's say middle school, you're looking to make friends, you know, and and 9 times out of 10, it's a very innocent type of a motive, right? But I think that we need to teach our young girls how to go about weeding out people that they don't need to be associated with. Okay? Yeah, so they need to be taught early how to understand the motive of an individual. You need to be able to be around people. You can watch what they do with other people, how they treat other people, you know, how they carry themselves when they're around you. What do they say to you about other people, about other young girls, about other so-called quote unquote friends, right? And so I don't think we teach enough I don't think we teach this enough with our young girls or our young men as far as that's concerned. Okay. And I think it's an important missing element in the upbringing and the education of our young people, because that goes a long way, even as they progress into high school and into college, university, or wherever they may end up. I think those soft skills, you know, they lack a lot of that as they move into society. And then they end up having relationship after relationship after relationship on whatever level it is that are just those that are not for them. Okay, so we're going to look at motive, we're going to look at the purpose of a thing, and then we're going to look at, so what is the dividend? Okay, what is the dividend in the end result? So when we're teaching our youngsters about how to align with people that are good alignments, and I know that it's a learning experience, but however, I think that if we teach them what to look for and what it looks like when something is not quite right, when we use those three or even similar three things to look for: motive, purpose, and dividend, right? What is the motive of an individual? Why do they want to be associated with you? What you know, I mean, really. And number two, what's the purpose of it? What, you know, on whatever level, whether it's a friendship level, it's a business level, or is it just you know, somebody that you know that you all have the same interests about, let's say, a particular thing, whether it's fashion or music or whatever it is. We need to teach our young ladies and our young men, to be honest, how to weed out relationships that are not for them and for us, to be honest. So as I said before, when I do get the opportunity to come in and speak to young women, I always want to find out, so what are you looking for in a friend? What are you looking for in a business relationship? What are you looking for, long haul, short haul? You know, I think that these are the things that we don't teach. We don't teach our young people what to look for and what to stay away from. You know, the mindset of it, the logical mindset of it, how to think through something instead of actively just be impulsive to do something just because it's exciting, you know, or it may be something that may be financially beneficial. And I often talk about how all money is not your money. All money is not your money. There has been many occasions that I've been invited to be in a group of individuals on a project. And when I looked at the overall project, what it entails, what you have to do, what type of compromises that you may have to, you know, participate in, it wasn't for me. So we have to teach our young ladies how to look at a situation holistically. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the whole picture, not just for the short term. Help them to understand what motive is. Help them to understand what purpose is, and help them to understand what the dividend is, right? And I think once they understand number one, two, I'm going to say who they really are and what they and how they want to people to perceive them, what type of values they want to have. I think that that's a very important attribute as well. So listen, I popped out today to talk about be mindful of relationships that are not for you. Whether you're 13, 14, 15, 16, all the way up to whatever age. Some things are just not for you. Know how to recognize those. This is Jay Parks, Executive Coach, Empowerment Speaker. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday.